Morning, everyone. This is Taylor from the EIT Urban Mobility based in the headquarters in Barcelona. We are very happy to welcome all of the startups and SMEs who are interested in our Raptor competition this year. This is our second Q&A information session. So some of you may have seen us yesterday where we had the first 6 of our cities present their challenges. And today we have another 6 of our cities in the Raptor program presenting their challenges. So we are very happy to welcome everyone. The agenda for today, let me just share my screen so you can see where we are. Okay. So presentation mode. Okay, do you see my slides? Maybe now. Yes, okay, thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, great. So here is our plan for the day. I am going to give some basics about the Raptor program. If you came to our information day last week, this will be familiar to you. We're not going into such detail. It's just a quick overview, about 10 minutes, so everyone here knows the basics of Raptor this year. And then the exciting part of our day is hearing from the 6 cities that you see here on our list about their challenges that will be in Raptor this year. They will each have a few minutes to present, and then at the end, we will have a live question and answer session. So if you have specific questions about Raptor, or importantly, specific questions about the city challenges, you can put them into the Q&A feature here on Zoom, and then we will read the questions aloud and answer them at the end of the session. So this is our plan for today. So the Raptor basics. First of all, what is the Raptor program? Raptor is an abbreviation that stands for Rapid Applications for Transport. It is city-driven. As you can see, we have city challenges in order to guide the Raptor program. The cities bring us their niche challenges, and then through our agile innovation methodology, we find the best solutions from the most innovative startups and SMEs to solve the challenge. And then these startups and SMEs get to work during the course of 4 to 5 months to develop their product and then actually test it live in the cities. So you can see here that Raptor is a program that is growing. We just started a few years ago with a couple of pilot cities, and it was such an overwhelming success. It has expanded to many other cities around Europe, and we are very happy to have the 12 cities in our Raptor program this year. You can see the names that are written on the map are the cities that are joining us this year for the Raptor program. The idea with Raptor is that startups and SMEs can either propose a new solution that they would like to develop or something that they would like to significantly improve. So maybe a product solution that they already have, but it can be improved and adapted to the specific context of a city challenge. So that is what we're looking for from the startups and SMEs. Importantly, who can apply? So this is an eligibility topic for the SMEs and startups that are interested. It's very important that you have been registered just in the last 10 years, that you are officially registered in the EU or a Horizon Europe associated state, and we are including the UK and Switzerland. If you are a startup or SME that's already received funding from the EIT Urban Mobility, this is okay, but it cannot be for the same product. So if you've already gotten funding for the solution you'd like to submit to Raptor, this is not going to work. You need to have a new solution, some other idea that you can propose to the Raptor program. And then finally, just to keep in mind for potential applicants, it's important that you have this PIC number, which is from the EU participant portal. If you don't already have it, it's fine. You just need to go to the EU participant portal website and get the PIC number to make sure that by the time you submit your application, by the end of the call deadline, you have this PIC number, okay? And what is the exciting part? So the best startups and SMEs that are selected through our Raptor call get a variety of different benefits. So first of all, the best solutions get to be tested and demonstrated in real life, of course, in the Raptor city. And also startups and SMEs will receive 35,000 euros to work on their solution during the time period. You also get a dedicated city contact person. So some of these people are here today, so you get to see them. In some cases, the city or EIT is able to offer some office space. So startups and SMEs can also benefit from that. We have in our Raptor program a core part of the 5 months where you develop your solution, a flexible and tailored mentoring program. So this is something we have with an external business expert, kind of a coach, and she works one-on-one with our startups to create a mentoring program specific to the needs of the different startups in the program that can be about different topics. And then finally, we also have other programs and opportunities at EIT Urban Mobility through our team and through some of the other teams. So the startups and SMEs that go through Raptor sometimes can also be invited to participate in other programs. So those are the key benefits of being a winner of Raptor. And finally, my last slide here is just to give you an idea of the timeline before I hand it over to the cities. So you can see on the left here, this 6th of March to 6th of May, we are, of course, in this period of time where the call or the competition is open for startups and SMEs to submit their best ideas to our Raptor challenges. Once the call closes on the 6th of May, we go into a new phase where we have some evaluations behind the scene. So we have external evaluators who will review the applications. All applications will receive a score. The best applications will be invited to a live panel hearing where they get to try and convince our evaluators that they are the #1 candidate to be working with the city. And then by the end of June, we are expecting to announce our Raptor winners. So that will be one startup or SME per city challenge that we will announce at the end of June, who then get to move on to this solution development phase, which would begin in August and go into December. And that is the time when the startups and SMEs get to work with the cities to develop their solution and to engage in the mentoring program that we provide, and of course, to have the live demonstration of the solution that they have proposed in the city. So this is what to expect from the Raptor program. And now I'm very happy to hand it over to our cities. So we will go in the order that you saw in our agenda. So our first city that I would like to introduce is the city of Ankara. So Ankara, if you would like to unmute, and then you have the floor for the next 5 minutes or so to tell us about your challenge.
Hi, Tyler and Raptor, Raptor team and the SMEs and startups. And thank you, Tyler, for the great information before our presentation. We are participating in Ankara, and this is Murat, and my colleague is Isa, and we're gonna showcase our presentation. And also, yeah, we are also really excited to be here as a EGO General Directorate in Ankara. Okay. And yes, this is optimizing. This is our topic: optimizing micromobility field operations. Yeah, and shortly, who we are: EGO and electricity, gas, and bus. But in Turkish we say otobüs. That's why in the end of the EGO. General Director has been a public transportation institution in Ankara since 1942. Our organization's mission is to offer public transportation needs in Ankara by servicing public bus and railway operations in the most reliable and fastest and economical way, of course. And our bicycle campus is a comprehensive bicycle sources, providing service in 5 buildings, aiming to help people to have a safer, comfortable, and enjoyable biking experience. The central, the 10,000 meter square green area, it provides an 1.200 meters square. Yeah, we can pass. Yeah. Why we joined the Raptor program? We have a shared e-bike system. It's a rental service system offered to citizens of Ankara with more than 600 industrial electrical bikes. and 40 charging stations, operating centers, as we mentioned, the bicycle campus, mobile applications, of course, for end users, and fleet management software for our backend operations. But we have a problem at that point, but the field operations without efficient way. And the challenge is how to increase efficiency in the e-bike field operations. Okay, our current situation, field operations consist of collecting, balancing, replacing batteries, on-site maintenance, returning to workshop, and done by carrying vehicles, as you see in the picture on the right side, represents the highest cost in the budget. Route optimization is necessary. Our objective to develop an optimization system for e-bikes field operations through an integrated software that includes parameters taken from existing software, such as locations, charge status, and availability of e-bikes. Okay, now let's imagine a scenario as seen on the map. There are e-bikes on the fields. Some of them are defective, broken, and some of them batteries are about to run out. Also, there is a certain capacity for vehicles to be brought to e-bikes to the center, that's a problem in here. Which vehicle will go to which bike from the shortest route? As you can see on the map, this is a maybe classical fleet management problem which can be solved. You can pass another. Okay, next. Station. Yeah, expected. This is expected operation area. This is Ankara map. And you can see the green dots. That's some metro existing and entering points, station points. And also we are thinking that implementing points of smart stations. The location of the sharing system indicated the green dots, and each circle diameter is 5 kilometers. We plan to keep the e-bikes in these circles as much as possible. Also, you can see our operations center and bicycle campus on the map as a blue house sign. That's an evaluation part. Run the solution with arbitrary data that is representative of the e-bikes and carrying vehicles in order to evaluate the competitor's solution. Also, random information including locations, battery life, working status, and other parameters will be displayed on the Ankara. Must be displayed, of course, on Ankara map. Yeah. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
I think we finished, and thank you all.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. And I am happy to take us to the next city, which is Barcelona. So we have someone here from AMB to present the challenge. I think
Hello.
Jordi. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jordi, you can go ahead and start.
Okay. Well, I'm Jordi from Barcelona metropolitan area. So, can you pass to the next, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, just let me know when you want the slide to change.
But I would like to start introducing you the Barcelona metropolitan area. The Barcelona metropolitan area is the public administration of the metropolitan area of Barcelona. We occupy more than 600 square kilometers, and we encompass 36 municipalities with more than 3.2 million inhabitants. Next, please. So what we are our challenge is for our SPRO APP. SPRO is a free APP for free professionals that we launched in last 2020. It was the first metropolitan only digital system for regulating the urban freight parking areas in the southern Europe. And now it's a unique application for 10 different of our municipalities, and we work to extend it up to 36. Next, please. Well, with X Pro application, we get a lot of data from the freight professional transports. Because they check in and check out on every regulated parking area several times a day on other metropolitan municipalities. So what we are looking for more accurate and reliable data, because we collect the data from the IPP and we need to report the performance of the IPP to our municipalities. So we need to improve that data management. We want also to ensure the data privacy and security, and there is some sensitive information basically on the database, not on the reports, that we need to share. And we would like to get an improvement of that data visualization analysis that could us to enable to share to our different stakeholders, mainly the different municipalities, but also some technical parts, and better understand and interpret all the data that we are collecting from the use of the APP. And that's all.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jordi. That was a great summary of the challenge. And now we can move on to our third city today. So we have someone from The Hague here to present. And I will hand it to you, Mark.
Yeah, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark van der Burg, and I will guide the RAPTOR challenge for The Hague this year. For The Hague, I work on smart mobility experiments, and I'm also setting up a strategy for shared mobility. Our challenge is about improving the sustainable customer journeys to and from Scheveningen. But before we go to our challenge, first I want to introduce you to The Hague in more general. So that's on the next slide. Yeah, well, with more than 550,000 citizens, The Hague is the biggest city in the Netherlands. And the city is growing as well. And it is expected that towards 2050, the city will grow with almost 100,000 citizens, and an amount of 10,000 jobs will also be added to our city. And this will cause more traffic, more pollution, and less space in our city. And the city's way to cope with this is to execute policy that stimulates more active modes of travel. And we also work on more innovative mobility solutions or smart mobility solutions. And the red circle on the area is Scheveningen. And this is where our challenge is focusing on. Next. Scheveningen is a highly popular recreational area, especially on nice weather and event days. And this causes a lot of visitors that results in crowded public transit and also in long traffic jams. And furthermore, a transfer between different transit modes is often required to make the route more sustainable. And the nature of the recreational area means that a lot of people travel with luggage or with children, which makes transfers a bigger barrier to sustainable travel to and from their destination. So a lot of people choose for their car, and car usage is highly facilitated with a parking close to the beach as well. The next slide. Well, concerning existing sustainable modes of transportation, because there are already different sustainable modes of transportation, there are already different cycling highways connecting Scheveningen to the rest of the city, which you can see on the map. And There are also some public bikes parking spaces already available, and people can park their bike there for free. And they are sometimes experienced as hard to find or far away from the recreational areas. People can enter our city by train via 3 different stations: The Hague Central Station, The Hague Laan van NOE, and The Hague Holland Spoor, and by car via different high roads, via the A12 or N44 or the A4, or via different metropolitan bike routes. And people that are arriving by train require thus a transfer to bus or tram or bike, and there is also an express service on summer days by tram to the beach, and this can be really crowded on peak days. E-mopeds have been proven to be very popular the last 2 summers in Scheveningen from other parts of the city. And from the outskirts of and outside the city, it becomes more complicated because we have different e-mopeds providers in our city. We have Go Sharing, Felix, and Check. And to encourage a proper e-moped parking, geofence mobility hubs have been introduced to Scheveningen. So these are like more clustered spaces where e-mopeds can be parked all together in a certain tidy way. There are also different options where people can park their car outside of the city and continue their journey by public transit, or also called our park and ride locations. On peak days, we have a density map, and it shows how crowded certain areas are. So we are doing a lot of things already, but there's still a big challenge to overcome. A lot of cities are still unaware also about the different mobility options the city is offering. So this is also a thing where we can work on. Then we go to our challenge or the goal with our challenge. We want users to have an easy, accessible, and pleasant, sustainable customer journey to the beach, and therefore the barriers that making this unable need to be removed. Beachgoers should be incentivized to travel sustainable, to improve clean and with safe ways of transportation between Scheveningen and the rest of the city. We have come up with some success factors. So the aforementioned problems in the customer journey can be addressed both physically and or by signaling or different online solutions. The solutions should improve should create improved attractiveness of sustainable travel on the aforementioned route, and using the solution should find it helpful in their own customer journey. And besides this, the solutions should be concrete and realistic to improve sustainable traveling between the Hague Center and Scheveningen in terms of implementation and costs. Good to mention is we are not looking for mobility as a service apps because we are already running a lot of pilots with that, or electric kick scooters as a solution, because we are still working and improving the e-moped system, and before that we will not go to the kickstart to the electric kick scooters. All right, last slide. Oh, that's
sorry, Mark. I think yeah, your last slide had some contact information.
Yeah.
And actually, if anyone wants to get in touch with the cities, we invite them to get in touch actually with EIT Urban Mobility. So we just avoid you getting like many emails. So we would receive them and send them to you. So sorry.
Well, this was our challenge. So if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them later.
Great, thank you very much. And now we are moving to Mechelen. So we have a couple of representatives here from Mechelen. Veerle, if you would like to take it over and present your city's challenge.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Great. Yes, so first, let's start by introducing myself and my city. I am Veerle, and I work for the team of mobility within the city, and I mainly work on making urban freight and making logistics more sustainable and more efficient. Mechelen is a beautiful medium-sized city between Antwerp and Brussels, so in Belgium. We have about 90,000 inhabitants and are growing. And we have a typical medieval city center with small, narrow roads with cobblestone streets, a lot of ancient buildings. So some challenges on mobility and on logistics. Next slide, please. What have we done within logistics? We have been talking a lot to our stakeholders, to the logistics sector. And 2 years ago, we officialized this within a covenant. We officialized our stakeholder engagement and we set up a zero emission working group with the logistics sector, with entrepreneurs in the city, with shop owners, etc. And we meet 2 times a year. Why did we do this? We wanted to go further than just talking alone. We did a lot of pilot projects, but now we are ready to install policy. So we wanted to take it a step further in sustainable city logistics. And we wanted to agree together with the sector on a concrete action plan and to set a common goal. And that goal is, we promised ourselves within this covenant, each other, to reach zero emission city logistics by 2030. And we made a concrete engagement to reduce in CO2 emissions. But there is the bottleneck at the moment, and there is where I need your help. Next slide, please. In that covenant, we described a transition that we want to make, taking into account, of course, the technical evolutions and availability of vehicles. And we know that, for example, heavy trucks, it's still difficult to get them fully electric, for example, but we describe the following transition: to have 20% of deliveries made with zero emission vehicles by 2023, and to arrive then in 2030 with a full 100% of deliveries made with zero emission vehicles. But the issue is, we stated this in our covenant, but we didn't think about how to measure this. How can we follow up and see that we are going on the right track? And we also decided to maybe focus on CO2 emissions. I know there are a lot of other emissions that are important in climate neutrality and in zero emissions, but we chose to focus on CO2. And that is what we are looking for. We are looking for a solution that can help us to measure these CO2 emissions of logistics traffic. First of all, we thought, it's interesting to make a baseline measurement as a kind of starting point that we can use for comparison. And then to measure and analyze the envisaged transition. So what we are looking for is, a device. I'm not an expert at all. So again, I need your help. A device to measure these CO2 emissions and hopefully the reduction. And maybe also what would be nice is a kind of software tool, for example, a dashboard that shows in a very visible and transparent way the CO2 emission and its evolution. So Taylor told me to only bring 2 slides. So these were my 2 slides. I hope it was clear enough, but I am open for questions. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So now we are traveling on to our next city, Munich. Tom, I see you're here. Is your colleague presenting with you as well, or is it just you?
It's just me, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Great. Then I'll hand it to you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good morning, everybody. My name is Thomas Wegerzeder. I'm working in the field of traffic research for the MVG. Could you please go to the next slide? Yeah, thanks. The MVG is a legal daughter of the Stadtwerke München, which is the local facility provider of Munich, and the Stadtwerke München itself is 100% daughter of the city of Munich itself. So just to introduce the surroundings there. Could you please go to the last slide already, which is the only slide with really content. Munich is trying to change the transport of people away from private cars towards public transport, cycling and walking. For this, to reach this goal, we need a lot of data. The data which is necessary is, for example, from where to where people move, when they move, and how they move. The when is very critical for us, and we have different views on this. For example, we need data for an average working day. We need data for special events like concerts, like football, and in Munich, very important for the Oktoberfest, of course. And we already tried to make a test in 2021 where we installed a challenge, but this didn't really work because some companies tried to get data from an app, but if only a few people use the app, we don't get a good overview. Other companies try to use cell phone data, but this is not precise enough. So what we now are looking for actually is that we would like to have a concept how we could combine data we have or we need to buy, whatever, and to get the necessary combination. So on the right side, you see the possibilities like mobile cellular data, bike data, which is provided by bike sharers. We have, of course, an automatic passenger counting system in public transport vehicles. We could use floating car data and, of course, app data, but we probably need to combine this data, and we simply don't know how this could work. So this is where you could help us just by giving us a concept how to do this. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And now we are moving on to our last city of the presentation today, which is Stuttgart. So I think we have 2 people here from Stuttgart. I don't know who's presenting. Yes,
Hi.
Perfect. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Welcome from the Stuttgart region. My name is Eberhard. I am Sustainability Manager in the Stuttgart region. My colleague is Sophie. She is responsible for startups in the Stuttgart region. So the Stuttgart region is a big region with 3 million inhabitants, and we are the birthplace of our mobility, how we know it now. 130 years ago here, the car was invented, and now we want you to be part of the next mobility revolution here in the Stuttgart region. So what do we want? We have a really big region with a lot of events, but as you know, like in other parts of Europe, if you want to go to a big event, normally you take your car and then you're in a traffic jam. So maybe in the big cities you can still use public transports, but even if you want to go by e-bike or so, it's really difficult to find a parking slot, or you don't want to take it there. So really now we want you to find a solution for this. So next slide, please. Yeah. So okay. So what can we offer? So we want you to find like a solution. How can we arrive and how can we depart? Like for really big events, we can start with events with around 1,000 people and up to 60,000. That's all what we have in the region. What we want you is here just to offer us a solution. And our idea is that on 20th June, you can meet stakeholders of all of our big events in the region. And there we want you to meet them. And so you can just talk with one, and then we want you to implement the solutions in the next in the second part of this year. Yeah, and now Sophie, you want to add something?
No, I think actually everything is said. Thanks.
Okay. Yes, one more thing. In June we have the Urban Future. Maybe you know it's a big congress is in Stuttgart, and we want to invite also the winner to this event so that you can network there and get new connections. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much. So now we are moving on to our Q&A session. So thank you very much to the 6 cities for presenting their city challenges. Everyone was very efficient and on time, so that was great. And we have about 25 minutes now remaining for anyone in the audience to ask questions about the RAPTOR program, to ask questions that are specific to the cities. If you think of questions later, you just need to send them to our RAPTOR email, which is raptor@eitmobility.eu, and then we collect questions and we can always direct them to the city. So you can ask questions later, but also now is the time to ask questions to the cities live. So please, if you have questions, put them into the Q&A. I'm going to start reading some of the questions and directing them to our cities. So first of all, there is a general question here that's just for me, for EIT as the host, which is about the recording. So yes, we are recording this session, and our plan is to make this available on the RAPTOR website so that later you can revisit it. Okay, so yes, the answer is yes. So we have a couple of questions here for Ankara. So first of all, they are asking, does the ecosystem use third-party back-end software solutions to manage the fleet? So a question about the software, and then also, is the system outsourced to commercial bike share companies?
Yes, Adam asked to us. Yes, we have a third-party and backend software solution to manage fleet management. The first question answer is yes. Is the operation of Ego outsourced to commercial? Yeah, just we manage itself actually, and our solution is developing for us. Yes.
Good. Okay, thank you. Hopefully that answered the question. If not, feel free to send a follow-up question. There's another question actually here for Ankara. So since you are already having your microphone off mute, I will direct this one to you as well. So they're asking about the optimization of software. Does it need to be just an optimization of existing software? Should it be something new? You can see this is in the Q&A. Do you need a web app or a mobile application? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, actually, we want a new software that's two software working as parallel, and just the web application and of course a mobile application, and also we want devices to in the carrying vehicles, and these devices, I don't know, maybe industrial thing, or just Android mobile phone, it can be. Also, we don't have detailed product documentation yet, but we have an idea actually, and also we think that our idea is clear in that point actually.
Good, thank you. I have some questions coming in the chat in addition to the Q&A. I'll just jump around a bit so we can hear from other cities. So we have a question here for Mark at the Hague. It's asking about the exact period to run the challenge. So I'll just answer from the RAPTOR perspective, because just keep in mind that the challenge development and the time when you can demo is from August to December. But within the specific context of the Hague, Mark, you can answer.
Yeah. So the testing period runs between August and December within the EIT time frame. But since the beach is like more and more busier in the during the summer days, so maybe it's like better to test a little bit earlier. So maybe in August to better see if the solution is working. And well, that is just an advice, because there are events also later than August. So yeah.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm seeing a question here also for, okay, Stuttgart. So yeah, Eberhard or Sophie, you can answer. It's just asking about ride sharing solutions for people going to events. Do you already have this? Is this something you're open to?
Okay, yeah, we are very open to this. We have bike sharing stations called Regiorad already, but you have around 20 or 30 bikes per station. And for these big events, we want a solution. I don't know, we might need thousands of bikes. So, but if there is a great idea, we're really open for this and we'd love to test it.
Great, thank you. I also have another question for Stuttgart in the chat. So the question is about if you have tried other solutions or if there's any other solutions that are currently already active, just so that the startups can have that in mind.
Yeah, there were always we tried small solutions, but in this mass of people, there was really never something that was like used as a car. So people still come by cars. Even for big events, we have good public transports here, but still people come by car. So yeah.
Great, thank you for this answer. And now we have questions for Mechelen. So in the Q&A, you can see there's a question here about the solution to track CO2 footprint. Is it only for cars? Are you also looking to track the CO2 for bikes, mopeds, other types of solutions? And then they're also curious if it should be an app or SDK based with AI. There's a couple of questions here, actually. I think you can see it, Veerle.
Yeah, the focus is on logistics traffic. So I don't know if it's possible, but if it is possible, we would like to focus on logistics traffic so that there are mainly vans, trucks. But it could be interesting to get the whole picture and go multimodal and also measure the other ongoing traffic. So yeah, that's possible, but again, we want to focus on logistics traffic. And on solution, yeah, I also leave that open. I have no idea. I have to admit that I also don't know what an SDK based with AI is. So I have to say that I cannot really answer that question.
Absolutely fine. This is a good thing about the RAPTOR program, is that there are so many possible solutions, including things that maybe we have never heard of that could be the perfect fit. So yes, thank you for this answer. And let's see, we have some questions for Munich. So there's a question here saying, I understand the challenge to use I understand that the challenge is to use current data sets with different data sources available, or are you looking, for example, an app or SKD that's capable of collecting and classifying different mobility data? So it's, yeah, is the data available? Do you need a better way to collect data?
Yes, in fact, we have a lot of data. We are not looking for an app or for an SDK because these SDKs and apps already exist. The problem is with apps that people simply don't want to be tracked all the time. So we don't get a big enough sample to get a good overview of how people move. So we probably will have to use existing data.
Great, thank you. I have another question actually from the chat directly for Munich. It's about if you're looking to test the solution for the whole city, or do you have a specific area within Munich where you'd like to do the demonstration?
The demonstration can be done on a small area. Just this is not so important for us. It has to show that it would work in the city of Munich and also in the complete region around Munich also. But the test can be very small. That's not the problem.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we have more questions for Ankara, so we will come back to these. So there's a question here saying that you already mentioned you have an app for bike sharing. So if their solution is around gaming tools, is it okay to present the whole system, including the bike sharing app, or would you be willing to change the one that you are already using?
Yes, we can tell we don't want full system of bike sharing. We need a software for field operations. Gaming tools can be nice for our field workers. Driver can do this job like a game, but not a full system. Because now preparing one software for Ankara rental system, bike share rental system. We want to this software for optimizing the field operations.
Great, thank you. And then there's a second question here also for you. That is, do you need IoT modules for tracking data of the bikes and the field vehicles to collect the e-bikes?
Yes, we nearly have 600 e-bikes. They have IoT modules on the bikes. All data will give you from our bike share systems with this IoT device. But we only need for our bicycle carrying vehicles. We have 5 vehicles. Maybe for them we need on the show the systems. Your system will integrate with web service to our software, because all the data will give from our rental systems. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm seeing also in the chat directly, Jordi from AMB, we do have a question here that's about the collection of data. So are you looking specifically for a solution that provides accurate and reliable data, or is it more just about visualizing the existing data?
It's visualizing the existing data because we have already the app collects the data constantly, so it's to manage this data collected from the app and visualize and do a dashboard or something kind of report for to evaluate the performance and to share it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And maybe just to follow up in terms of the data, because I know from past RAPTOR programs, in terms of actually giving access to the startup, when you give access to the data, is this directly through AMB, or is it another department? Like, what's the process for data sharing? Is it fairly?
There is a third party involved because we don't have we are not the technical provider of the APP, so we have a third party on it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, we have another question for The Hague. So Mark, is it possible to run the challenge partly or directly after? Is it possible to run the challenge partly next or directly after another challenge in the city of The Hague? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure what this question means. Maybe you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think there is already a challenge running via the EIT mobility right now in The Hague, but well, maybe via another program, for example, a startup in residence. So I think it's possible to run this challenge next to another if the solution is different. But this year we will guide one startup in the RAPTOR challenge.
Yes. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Actually, another question I just got in the chat for you, Mark, while you're still unmuted, is would the city be keen to test solutions such as like nudging to encourage commuters to use sustainable solutions? So I think this is maybe about gamification or giving incentives.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep. Great, thank you. Okay, we have another question here for Mechlin. So how do you measure and collect the CO2 data? And when you talk about a device to measure CO2, is it a fixed device? Does it need to be a device that's attached to vehicles? And also, is it for a specific area or the whole city? So there's a few questions here.
Yep. Thanks for the question. At the moment, we don't measure and collect CO2 data. So we are doing nothing at the moment. The device could be either fixed or attached to vehicles. That's both options are possible for me. And we focus on a specific area in the city, and that is mentioned in the bigger application. Taylor, I don't know if all the startups, if all the participants get this information. So we focus on our inner city and the connection to our train station.
Yeah,
so
we have, sorry, the information about each of the challenges is on the Raptor website. So the information that's there is the information that they have.
There you can find the exact the area that we want to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Another question from the chat directly actually for A and B, Jordi. They're asking, so A and B of course covers a wide region of different districts. The question is, are you looking to test and have your solution across all of Barcelona, or is it more focusing on the city center, or is it a particular area where you'd like to see the demo?
We work by municipalities. Barcelona is one of them, and we have 9 more municipalities. We can do the demo for 1 or for 2 or for more of this. Barcelona is a little bit different case because they are really big and they work a little bit alone, but we work a lot with the other municipalities. So we can do the demo on one of some of them.
Okay, so it depends on the solution, I suppose, and the scope.
Yeah, because we are these reports in a dashboard. A way that we are looking for is to report to each one of municipalities, but because they want to know about the performance of the APP on their territory. Even the APP, it's the same and works for all together, but we report for each municipality also and globally and for each municipality both.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jordi. Another question in the chat that I've just received for Stuttgart is about, since your challenge is based on large events, do you have a specific large event in mind that you can envision having the solution be tested, or is there a series of events coming up in the autumn, just because the applicants are thinking about like their timeline they have to propose when they apply?
Yes, we have plenty of big events. It depends a bit of the solution we'll get. So I don't know if you know, the biggest Oktoberfest in the world is in Stuttgart. So let's say not, it's almost as big as Munich, but it's a bigger place. That is an event for 3 weeks where we could might test something if the responsibles would be would like your solution. We have different soccer teams with thousands of people that want to watch the games. We have a lot of cultural events. We have concerts. So at the end, we'll bring you together with the stakeholders of these events, and then you can decide which of these events would be the one you want to test your solution.
Great, thank you for this response. So the Q&A has, I don't see anything else in the Q&A. If there's any other final questions, please send them to us now. Otherwise, we are going to wrap up. Maybe this final question from Munich we have in the chat, actually, Thomas. This is again about the data that's available from the city. So just to understand, is the data coming from, for example, telecommunications companies? Is there data from Google Maps that can be extracted, or City Mapper or something like that, just to understand like the landscape of different data?
Okay, we could buy data from mobile phone companies, for example, from providers. We already have data of our own counting systems, and we have data of bicycles, for example. So this data could be used and combined, or any other we don't think of right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, thank you. I've just seen a new question that has appeared in the Q&A for Mechlin. So maybe we'll just have this final question and then wrap up early. So Veerle, how many devices do you think are necessary to cover the area?
Yeah, again, a very interesting and relevant question, but again, one on which I do not have a clear answer. we had to try and quantify a bit in our application. Yeah, there I stated if we do it on vehicles that we mainly want to try and imply a minimum of 30 logistics players, but I don't know if that's enough. I know that 10% of all traffic is logistics traffic, so maybe that can help you. And I can maybe also, I don't know it by heart, but give you the square meter, the surface of the area that we want to cover, and maybe based on that figure, you can define an optimal number of devices.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, so I think this brings us to the end. We are finishing just a couple of minutes early, so you have a few free minutes in your day, thanks to us being very efficient. So if any of the participants have additional questions, you could always send us an email during the competition, and we are happy to send those questions to our cities. And thank you very much to all of our cities for being present today for this hour and for presenting your city challenge to help promote to interested startups and solutions and SMEs to get the best solutions. So with that, I think we will wrap up and have a very nice day.